This is my Cookery Zone podcast, a podcast brought to you by my Cookery Zone platform, also known as the connoisseur in food reporting.
Many cookwares can be unsafe. Many of the cookwares that we have can be very unsafe. Now, the degree of the unsafety depends on the type of cookware that you're using, and that's where cookware safety comes into play. You have to know the different types of cookwares we have available and the risk involved in using them.
Cookwares have evolved over the years, from classic cast iron to modern silicone cookware. With so many options available in the market today, we can afford to make selection and do our bidding when purchasing one. These assorted utensils used in making meals are also capable of making food unsafe and injurious to the body. How much do we know about how injurious this can be to the body system? If the right cookware is used, will it promote safe and hygienic cooking? On this episode of my Cookery Zone podcast, I have with me
Umeh, and I am a health professional. I'm a nurse, and I'm also a public health scientist. I am the founder of Radiance Cookware, which is like the healthy cast iron brand in Nigeria. And I'm very passionate about food. I really love food and everything about food. And I've successfully used food as a healing tool for myself and my family. And I continue to share my recipes on social media.
Let's discuss cookware, shall we? Welcome, I'm Iyanolu Afagbiye Temitope. What makes the food we cook in utensils unsafe?
Okay, so what makes it unsafe is the metals that are released when you cook foods in certain, pots. So we have, all pots are made of different types of metal, and they're actually made of different types of coating. So the base is always usually a metal, because usually those are the things that can take the heat, apart from glass and clay and all the other types. But the issue, what makes it unsafe, is the type of metal and the type of lining or the type of coating that is used on that metal. That's what makes it unsafe.
Okay, is there an appropriate cookware for cooking?
Yes, we have several options actually. So when it comes to safe cookwares, there's no direct answer, okay? Because now the risk I was talking about is actually very subjective. It is based on how your body reacts. So you would find people that can swear by aluminum, for example, and say that they have had no problems whatsoever using aluminum. It's like they've lived very long, productive lives using aluminum, and there's no issue whatsoever. But then there's another group of people who are actually sick because of that. So it will depend on the human body and how your body reacts. But generally, we have safe and unsafe cookwares, and we could go deeper into the different types that are safe and then the ones that are unsafe. So, yeah, the ones that definitely we shouldn't be using are categorized into like three main categories. So we have aluminum, which is the number one culprit for most of the bad things that we see in the literature nowadays. Aluminum. And we have a non-stick, which is like a compound word for most of the pots that are made with Teflon. And then we have copper, which most of the time is usually not made well, and this is a lot into food. So these are the three main ones that are not safe. And then we also have the safe ones, definitely good for cooking, 7 in number. And we have titanium, which is most times stainless steel that is fortified with titanium. We have stainless steel itself. We also have cast iron, the different types of cast iron. We have what we call clay pots, which is what our ancestors used to use. We have ceramic. And we also have the new generation green pans, or will I say the new generation non-stick pans that are made without the Teflon. Although those ones are not really up on the list because of the type of controversies that we're having now. And then the final one is glass. So the 7 cookwares that we definitely should add to our list of safe cookwares I just mentioned: titanium, we have stainless steel, cast iron, ceramic. The ceramic must be lead-free. We also have non-stick, the new generation non-stick or green pans.
In conversation with Nancy, she spoke on the use of earthenware, also known as clay pots. She spoke on how safe and unsafe it can be. We know some traditional soups that require the use of clay pot for that earthy feel. Now, out of the numerous coatings we have out there, like Teflon, Granitium, Americoat, generally, which is the safest?
Clay pots. Not all clay pots are actually safe.
Oh, now tell us which one is unsafe, which one is safe?
Right, so it depends on where the clay is sourced from. So generally, you can actually have clay leach certain heavy metals like lead and cadmium. If you happen to be in Nigeria, the clay found in Ekiti is the safest for now because it has the lowest arsenic level. Now, arsenic is a naturally occurring metal, but it's unsafe, especially for children. It's the metal that we find in rice that makes people say, oh, you have to wash your rice, because arsenic is a heavy metal and can actually have very detrimental effects on the body. So now the soil, which is used to plant this rice, the clay in certain areas of the country is not safe. So you could have clay pots, but they can actually be emitting very heavy metals as well. There's a place in Ogun State that they have very pure clay. There's also a place in Ekiti where they have really amazing clay that is unadulterated, if you allow me to say that. It depends on where the clay is gotten from. A lot of the time, soil is very, very polluted. All the activities that man carries out on soil. So if you just say, oh, clay is good, but where's the clay coming from? So in Nigeria for now, there was a study, I'm trying to see if I can find when that study was done, I think 2019, and they analyzed clay pots from different areas of the country, and Ekiti happened to have the safest when it comes to leaching of lead, cadmium, and arsenic. So for now, that's like the only source for very healthy. Like personally, when I was looking for the healthiest, because I used to do a lot of testing at the time, a lot of clay pots found in the market are not really safe per se. So you see some people trying to say, oh, safety is really about how safe how much leaching can happen when you eventually put your food in it, not necessarily the type of material. Because even when you look at the different types of cookwares that we have, you could have a stainless steel pot that is really unsafe. Just because it says it's stainless steel doesn't mean that it is made properly, doesn't mean that it's made from the right material. So clay pots are safe, but clay pots made from clay that is sourced from very good places like Ekiti and Ogun State, currently in Nigeria.
Speaking of safest and healthiest cookware options, research shows that cookware is made out of 100% ceramic and has some natural non-stick properties and does not leach or emit potentially harmful fumes. These types of cookware is among the best non-toxic cookware and should be used for cooking.
Many cookwares can be unsafe. Many of the cookwares that we have can be very unsafe. Now, the degree of the unsafety depends on the type of cookware that you're using, and that's where cookware safety comes into play. You have to know the different types of cookwares we have available and the risk involved in using them.
Non-stick cookware, often found in most outlets and kitchens today, coated with PTFE polytetrafluoroethene, often referred to as Teflon or silicone. Studies show that the PFOA hyperfluorooctanoic acid, which was introduced in food manufacturing in the 1940s, is no longer used in non-stick cookware due to health concerns. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the topics we've been discussing on the podcast so far. If this is your first time of tuning in, thanks for clicking play and do well to listen to our other episodes. And when you do, please like, rate and share. Also subscribe on any of the platform you're listening from. Many thanks to Nancy Umeh and the team at Cookery Zone, Yanolua Komolafe and Daniel Chuko. Now, do you know anything about cookwares? Which of the cookwares do you use at home for cooking? Do let us know. You can tweet at us at Cookery Zone or at MCZ Podcast using the hashtag MCZ Podcast so we can acknowledge them. And if you prefer sending us a mail, you can email us at micookeryzonepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support or tip us, we have details of that in the description box below. Thanks for listening once again. I'm Iyanoluwa Fagbiye Temitokwe. My Cookery Zone podcast is brought to you by my Cookery Zone platform. Thank you for listening.